Hi, I'm Dr. Saira.
And I'm Texas Peek.
And we want to go back to the basics again and again and again in these videos.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird concept that we're bringing forward in a way because we're talking about change today, but we're not changing anything.
We're not talking about anything new that you haven't already heard before if you have been watching these videos for a while. This is actually one of the kind of criticisms that we sometimes get is that the theory that we're proposing sounds too simple.
So let's talk about that.
It is simple. So here's the simple premise that everything that we do at the Expansion Project is based on.
Ready? All right.
Well, are we doing it together?
No, I thought you were going to do it.
Oh, I was like, 1, 2, 3.
Doing it together. Should we do it in harmony?
Okay. There's only 2 states. And because you have sovereign agency, you get to choose your state. That's the basic, simple premise underneath everything that we're teaching.
So the 2 states are contracted, which means working out of our old patterns and our old adaptations. And the other state is not contracted, where we have access to much, much more. As Saira was saying earlier, sometimes it seems so simple. And the mind struggles with simplicity.
The mind wants it to be complicated.
Yeah.
And another way of saying, another phrase you might hear us use a lot is alignment and misalignment. That's kind of the technical words for it. So alignment is when we're open and receptive and connected and in flow. And misalignment is when we're contracted and we're in our self-protective mechanisms and we're in our old adaptations and our old habits and our old ways of doing things that actually don't make us feel free. So alignment and misalignment are the 2 states, and sovereign agency is your innate right to choose things for yourself.
And one of the things that we're going to touch on in future videos and get a little more of a deep dive into is why that can present such an obstacle for people, that last piece. Because if you are if you have sovereign agency over what's happening in your life, then you're responsible for it. We can't blame anybody else for what's happening. So it's both sides of the same sword. It's really, really powerful, but it's also leaves us,
There's not a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah.
So the topic that we wanted to talk about very quickly here in a few minutes is change, right? And why is it that sometimes we get stuck and we're not able to change our lives?
Yeah. So maybe we should talk about what real change is. Real change is not, from our perspective, a changing of behavior.
Right. Which is different than the way mainstream psychology talks about change, right? Especially certain cognitively based theories that say, like, if you can understand it and then you can change your actions, then that's change. And we're saying, real transformation comes from a much deeper place than just an intellectual or a cognitive or a behavioral change. It's actually more of a felt sense in your body. It's actually more of a emotional ease that you get.
Right.
It's much deeper than just understanding and actions.
Right. And one of the things that when you look at it from the outside, if you're observing somebody who's done advanced consciousness, you will see the changes and they look a lot like somebody who's changed their behavior.
Right. Or they could actually be doing the same behaviors.
Yes.
Right. So we have some clients who what they're doing hasn't really changed, but their relationship to their life, their relationship to themselves has so profoundly changed. So on the outside, it might not look like much has changed, but they feel different. And they're in their life in a very, very different way. Like, how many clients do we have who didn't quit their job or move house or any of those big dramatic things? They're just so much more content and satisfied and feel like they're living their life with vision and purpose now.
And alignment, right?
And alignment.
Because they can tap into that thing that shows them internally that this is where you're supposed to be right now.
And that's a bigger concept, no, it's not. I guess it's about the same thing, right? Because how do we tap into the intuitive mind or inner wisdom is we get into alignment first.
So if any of that interests you, keep coming back.
Read the book, The How, which is Monique's new book. So Monique is Texas's wife, and she just published this book called The How. Too. She's also my best friend. But here's a subtitle: A guide to transcending overthinking and self-protection for a life of clarity and flow. So if you're looking for a life of clarity and flow and you're ready for some changes, this might be a good read for you. You can get it on Amazon.
Yeah, and keep tuning in here. We're gonna do some deeper dives. We have an upcoming podcast, and we're gonna have a lot more. I think we have about 15 or something that come in, right?
So there's already the podcast already out, by the way.
Okay, well there you go.
Available now.
I just do what they tell me to do.
So you can check out our podcast. There's some YouTube. There's a playlist on YouTube called Expansion Now, and there's also just the audio version of it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts right now. So,
do you want to say anything about the Vancouver trip to Kid Carson?
Oh, yes. And pretty soon, we just interviewed with Kid Carson on his podcast. And so that will be released soon. We'll keep you posted.
Within the next couple of weeks. So if that's something that maybe you follow him, you can see us there. Thanks, you guys. Bye.